Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Talk Sound, and இன்னைக்கு வந்து we have a special guest and it's Anoop Nair.
Hello.
Welcome Anoop.
Thank you.
இன்னைக்கு டாபிக் வந்து it is all about orchestral, right? Okay, orchestral music production. Okay, so இன்னைக்கு அதுதான் topic. So anyway, Anoop, we'll start.
Yes. I'm ready.
Done?
I'm
Yeah.
super happy.
Super
to hear
happy.
it.
Yeah.
So most of the times, the main question I face from the students are how to demystify this orchestral arrangement.
Yeah.
Everyone faces trouble with the orchestral arrangement.
Correct.
So see, even these power strings, everything's work when the arrangement is hybrid.
Okay.
So we can treat it in two ways, where strings are the main element, and
Okay.
other synth stuff, other the ambient or the basic, which goes behind.
Okay.
Other arrangement.
Okay.
Second thing, the synth and other stuff will be the main one, and strings will be a supporting one.
Okay.
And the style we can go for all these omnisphere patches, everything, which it will give a pakka good imaging.
Okay.
But when it comes to proper string arrangement where the synth everything goes behind, we need to be very careful with the tone selection when it comes to that orchestral spatials, everything. No?
Okay.
So everything works. All the tones are good. It depends on where we use it actually.
Do you remember any like special occasions or like special songs where where it is deep in your heart like that? Any like ரொம்ப பிடிச்ச ஒரு production, ரொம்ப like maybe ஒரு special ஒரு பிடிச்ச ஒரு production.
Which of production? In Kannada, Charan's work, I
Super.
loved working in that Charan's project.
ஒரு special song like
Tagaru song.
Tagaru song. Super.
That was a super hit there. And then I'm basically concentrating and focusing on re-recording. So since I'm exploring the music side in my live playing, so most of the time I prefer re-recording to the songs.
Yeah, re-recording is like again a toughest part,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Like
quite challenging.
Visual path, like all emotions, so it has to be conveyed through the score. So
We can do the same scene in 100 ways. 100 music producers come with 100 different ideas.
yes,
So that's quite challenging, and it's nice.
super. So anyway, like we'll start.
Yes.
Okay. Anoop, so orchestral now, what comes first?
Let's start from the basics. Let's understand what are the different sections in orchestral music. So let's classify it into string sections, then we have woodwind sections, then we have brass sections, and we have a percussion section. Percussion section is sometimes classified into the rhythms and the keyboard sections. Okay, let's start with string section. As you all know, strings, we are quite familiar with string sections. We have the violin, we have the viola, we have the cello, and we have the double bass. So how are these classified? Basically with the pitch range. Violins have the higher pitch range, not pitch range, the higher pitch. Then goes the viola, then the cello and the double bass. They'll be in the very low register. So this the different instruments in different sections are classified according to their pitch range. So the string section, everyone are familiar, I know. Let's take the woodwinds. So when it comes to woodwinds, it's again just like double bass, cello, viola, violin. We have bassoon, then we have the clarinet, oboe, and the flute. So these are a general classification. Inside this particular flute or this particular clarinet, we have if we take bassoon, we have contra. If we take a if we take a flute, we have piccolo flute, everything. But these are the basic classification. So bassoon, and then the clarinet, oboe, flute. When it comes to brass, again we have the tuba. Tuba will be just like the double bass or the bassoon. It will be the bass instrument, tuba. Then we have the horns. Then we have after the tuba we have the trombones. Then we have the horns. Then we have the trumpet. So it's clear, no? In string section, the woodwind section, the brass section. Every sections we have different instruments according to their range. Then comes the percussive section. Percussive section, basically anything which is played by not plucking, by hitting. So all the xylophones, the marimbas, the big drums, the snares, everything. So these days the percussion section we classify it into two actually. When all these melodic instruments, the marimba and all, we call it keyboard instrument because it has those keys, right, basically. And the other section is rhythm sections, all these triangle, the big bass drums, everything, snares, everything section. So let's start from the base that okay, these are the sections. So is this very clear?
Yes.
Okay. So once we crack this, it's very easy. See, the basic problem our students and all, they come up, no, they'll ask, where will we place the oboe? Where will we place the clarinet? So basically, we need to know, okay, oboe comes in this family and it comes in this range. You don't play a violin in the bass register, right? So basically we need to know which instruments is in which section and in which part of the section, then it's very
Yeah,
easy.
always like we have discussed on that imagination part, right? Like always we need to have a imagination.
Exactly. So we need to that comes the next. Now we know the families, this section, okay, the woodwind family, everything. Now next come individual instrument. So when we are, I mean, as far as our concern, like we are music producers, we need to visualize the instrument player playing the instrument. So take a violin as an example. So violinist, how does he play? So he has you need to visualize this visualize that thing while you program. So when he plays, he'll control the dynamics with the bow. So the volume difference, no, that comes in the bowing. Here he modulated. So that thing is here. This is the dynamics. But when it comes to keyboard, we usually only do the modulation. So there will be only one particular articulation we do. So that's the main disadvantage of not knowing all these things. Okay, so we need to know what are the different articulation in a particular instrument and how it is played. So when a instrument player is playing a violin, so it will be like, so dynamics is changing, modulation is changing, his expression is changing. It's never so don't go for this quantizing thing and all when it comes to string arrangement. It should have a human touch. Like it's we don't call it error, but the human touch, that small imperfection is what it makes perfect actually when it comes to all this arrangement. Just like the violin, if you take a brass instrument, how is the sound produced? Basically it's by the lip vibration. So it has that there's a small time that the wind goes inside and the sound is produced. So it should have that that kind of a small delay in the dynamics. And also similarly, you need to know which instrument, how it is played. Is he standing? Is he sitting? Where does that sound come from? Okay, so I often get this question from students here. How do we classify this brass instruments or brass section or the woodwind section? So it's a vague definition that this is made of brass and the other one is by wood. Okay, that's also a definition. Another main thing is one particular family produces sound. If a brass instrument now, they produce a sound with lip vibration directly. The lip, it's touching the instrument and the wind is going inside. When it comes to woodwind, we have a converter, basically the ADDA converter kind of thing. So we have a converter to convert this thing to the instrument. That is called a reed. If in our place and all, we go to all these marriages, we'll see this Nadasaram people. So after everything, they'll have that. Happy that thing, no? That's a reed, that small reed. So when we blow into that small reed, it converts that vibration into that instrument. So basically, all the woodwind instrument will have a reed. You take a clarinet, oboe, you can see a small reed in that. So that's another classification, the way of defining this. Okay, this reed, the Woodwind will have reeds, the other one will be direct, they won't have reeds. That is why the saxophone is classified into woodwind. Saxophone is an instrument that is made of brass, right? It's a metal instrument, but still it's in woodwind because it has a reed. But there is another, that's why I'm telling you, it's a vague classification. There's another exemption where in flute, there's no reed, but it's still in woodwind. And I think so. Basically, it's when the flute, the piccolo flute, everything. No, it has. They used to have a reed. I've read somewhere, and I don't know. So all these are vague kind of what do you call definitions. So you need to exactly know which which instruments are from which family. Okay. Yeah.
So we'll get into action.
Yes.
So what we have right now, like on your desk.
I've just laid out very basic tracks of string family and woodwind family. So so I just want to, okay, to start with, I often get okay, I'm explaining everything with respect to the questions I usually get here from the students. So to start with, I get the question that, okay, should we be using an ensemble patch, like that, a full patch, no, full string patch, or should we be using violin separate, viola separate? So it, as we told in the introduction, it depends on what is the purpose of that particular score. If the string or the classical or the orchestral arrangement is important, definitely you have to use violin, viola, cello separate. No, you are backing up something, now you can always use an ensemble patch. So I'll start with an ensemble.
Yeah, I have one question. So basically, like I've seen some producers using LA score string with a combination with a sinew strings or something like they combine a lot of different libraries.
Okay.
Is that recommended, or what do you think?
I'm not sure with that, because I personally don't do that, because basically all these string patches, it's basically sampled ones. So when they sample this particular instrument, when they record this particular instrument in a big hall or that particular room, every instrument they record will have the same character and same spacing.
Yeah, that's a big point.
Yeah, imagine we three people are sitting here and talking. When I talk, it's very clear. When another person talk, it's very reverberous. It will have a bathroom kind of feel. And another person talks, it will have a church feel. Will feel very awkward. So personally, what I'm telling you is, if you are using a violin patch or any particular instrument, woodwind or something, maximum try to stick on to the same library. If you need a proper orchestral arrangement, see, definitely once you know the rules, you can break the rules. See, that's always there. Experimenting is always there. But when it comes to that authentic arrangement, we have to stick to that thing. This is the main thing. One is the character of the timbre changes when it comes to different libraries. Second thing, the spacing, the what do you call, the character, the purpose, you know, right? The spacing, the arrangement, everything changes when we swap
even the spanning settings is also there in
exactly. So again, it's a big topic. You need to know what is a mono and what is a stereo. And I often again, when students tell, okay, what is it there, you just have to pan it to the left, pan it to the right, you have a mono. But actually panning, the spatial arrangement of different instrument is not panning, it's basically positioning. So when you take an example of Spitfire, you take symphonic the orchestra example. Imagine in one library, okay, let's leave that name and that. Imagine library 1, you have cellos here, you have double bass here, you have violas here, violins here. So you sample it, you record it. Imagine in another library, they recorded the whole stuff with lot other instruments. They have woodwinds, everything. So they decide, okay, let the violin be here, or let the violin be here, and let the cello go here. So the thing is, when we use the violin from the first library, its stereo spacing will be here, the right side. And when we take another one and we take the viola, actually it's supposed to be here, but we get it here. You get it, no? Am I clear?
Yeah.
So the spatial arrangements also matter. Then, okay, what was the question? I got lost.
No, no, nothing. Like it was about do we want to pan? No, right?
No, if we are using a proper sampled wet libraries, don't pan because it's already panned.
Yeah.
It's already panned, don't do that. See, don't do that is again very relative. You have a purpose to do that, now you do it. Otherwise, it's properly sampled, they've spaced it properly, they've done it properly. We'll
Because
take an example.
when it comes to music, there's no rules, right?
Nothing. But the only thing is, to break the rules, you have to know the rules.
Yeah.
So learn everything. Then you can unlearn, then you can experiment everything. That's secondary. But first thing is, you have to know how it works.
Then break it.
Yes, exactly. that's how it works.
Okay. So what library you are using right now?
Today for this, we're using Spitfire Symphonic. So the ensemble patch, I usually use it either for composing level in composing levels, or if we are backing it up for some other instruments. There's a guitar happening, there's a saxophone going, you need a proper string chord. No, we can use an ensemble. Otherwise, if, for example, when I approach a scene, a particular situation, I usually use a ensemble patch. So something like for all these kind of composing or backing, I use an ensemble patch. Otherwise, I go for fully separate violin, the first violin, second violin. Okay, to start with string arrangement, I mean basic string section, we usually, okay, coming back to the same basic thing again, regarding the instrument, we were talking about how it is played. So another aspect about that is you need to know the articulations also, how it is played. Articulations, no? For example, strings, it has staccato, it has legato, marcato, it has spiccato. So you need to know what are the possibilities in which you can sound very much near to the real instrument, how it is played. So you need to know all the articulations, I mean all the main articulations, and mix it up always. If you're playing legato in two, I mean, this is not again a rule. Try to mix it up so that it sounds very natural. So when it comes to, for example, the brass instrumental, they play it muted. There is another technique where they put something and that it is muted. The trumpet is muted, and what else? The other articulations are, it's also called ornaments because we decorate it. So some things like the trills, tremolos, all these articulations you need to know to play a particular type of instrument. See, if I get a rhythm instrument, the first thing you need to know is where I should be playing it, right? So what if I'm playing here and the instrument player after 2 days is coming and telling, no, that's not the way you have to play, you have to play from here. So you need to know exactly how and what are the techniques to be played on that, what are the possibilities we can maximum utilize.
So basically, you prefer the music producer at least once he has to visit a recording space, right?
Exactly. And that's a very another vast subject, the recording, art of recording. For a simple example, the French horn, we play it here, but the sound is produced here. You need to mic it here. So similarly, you exactly have to know where, see, we'll be playing it from here, but the sound will be produced somewhere else. So you need to know where it is produced. And another thing, it's a contrary to what we believe, we think that okay, let's mic it here and we'll get the proper sounding. Just imagine from a human perspective, we are not going to keep our ears. If for example you're taking a snare, you're miking the snare here, but we are not going to keep our ear here and listen to it. So actually we are listening from a distance. So to articulate that particular natural sounding, you need to know the art. So you need to exactly know how to mic there and also how to mic a distant one, so that in the combination you get a proper sounding. And that's your subject, Abhin. Let's not go to that. Let's get back to this. So yeah, so you need to know how the instrument is played. What are the articulations? Very important. Let's start with. Okay, I've made a small music. I'll play that, or first, or I should. Okay, I'll play a separate track first, or you need me to play the whole thing first.
Will anyway like play the whole thing first.
Okay.
I'll be waiting for.
Okay, okay, okay. It's a very simple 8-bar arrangement. Okay. So to break this down, I've done only string and woodwind sections in this. So I played a very basic melody. It goes like this. That's it. So when I was making this melody itself, I had the chords in mind. So just two chords. That's it. Okay, so I did a very okay. In a viola, the second section was viola. ഈ പ്ലേ ടൈംസ് കുറയ്ക്കാമല്ലേ? കുറേ ആവൂല ഇങ്ങനെ ഓരോന്നോരോന്ന് പ്ലേ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ?
നമ്മൾക്ക് സെക്കൻഡ് പാർട്ട് ഇടാം.
അങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടോ? ഓക്കെ. So over this, yeah, we are pretty clear with the chords. So over this, I layered a cello where it's very basic. You can see. I didn't want the double bass to come in first itself. So when the double bass come in between, it'll give okay, something is coming in, something is happening. So that's why I gave it here in between. So it'll be more like, so it's slowly it's coming. See, and over the chords, I played some counterparts in flute, oboe and all. Maybe I'll just play it just with the violins, so you'll have an idea. That's it. It's very basic arrangement, and over it track is happening. Another harp. Harp. I'll show you something.
Okay, so there is a piano.
There's a piano running
So
behind that.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So like